What's poppin', people? It's Dante. Today I'm on the streets of Philadelphia and I'm on Market Street. This is the street that I prefer photographing on. Lots of good light here in the morning. Photographing with the Ricoh GR3. High contrast black and white, small JPEG files are the future. Hopefully Apple can make a better camera though, because I'd rather just use this phone that I'm filming with right now. I mean, why not? It's American made. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to use all these Japanese tools. There needs to be a better American company to come out with something, you know? Maybe it can be hubbed here in Philly, you know, the birthplace. But I guess, alas, I will be using the Ricoh. So I have some thoughts on courage in photography and life in general. And I think that's what is supposed to be at the forefront for any young man out there. You know, I think anyone out there, if you're trying to make pictures on the streets and practice street photography, you got to start in the gym. You know, you work on your fitness, you work on your confidence, and then you go out and you take some pictures. You know, it starts from the heart, and it starts there. You first work on your physiology, you first work on your physical body and yourself, and then you can go out and take pictures. How about that? And so if you're trying to overcome any like fears you have of making pictures on the streets, because I think this is something that's like very typical for newcomers, guess what? Start lifting, start fasting, and eat lots of beef. You know, that's really the ultimate solution. You know, you can say you're an introvert and all these sort of things, but guess what? Like, you said it. Like, you're claiming to be an introvert. You can overcome introversion. You know, anyone can be outgoing on the streets. Anyone can. You know, if you're gonna work on the streets, I don't think it's for introverts, and I don't think introversion exists. You know, it's just a physiological difference amongst me and you. And if you were to increase your testosterone levels, yeah, you would see that just naturally you'll become stronger and more courageous, and it'll augment your reality. So like the whole idea is to augment your strength and to augment your courage each day by 1%, and yeah, by doing simple things like pull-ups and push-ups, you can achieve this. And then fast and eat one big meal before bed. Just eat a lot of beef. Go to your local farms. If you're in Philly, go to the Reading Terminal and support the local farms from Lancaster. You know, the Pennsylvania Dutch, the Amish do it right. And so yeah, the idea is to first work on yourself, then come out on the streets. And when you're ready and you have the courage and the guts and the audacity to come out here, maybe you can make some good art. You know, good art comes through good health. You know, if you're working on yourself, yeah, it's inevitable that you're going to make good work in terms of your artistic practice. No good art has come from degeneracy. I mean, seriously, even when I think back on artists like Basquiat, while I do admire the work he made, and I have even a painting of his and a book of his, I think at the end of the day, he suffered a lot, and I think it's a poor thing to put these people on pedestals when it comes to making art, right? We should strive to become more virtuous. We should strive to become more manly, whatever that means. And so for me, it's a simple thing. It's having no fear. It's being dominant. You know, that's what it's about. It's kind of like this interesting notion to think about, because it's true. It's my truth, and it's something that I want to preach here and spread my gospel, because it helps me a lot. You know, when I was 20 years old, I went over to the West Bank photographing on the front lines, conflict between Israel and Palestine, getting shot at. You know, and I would make jokes about these notions of visual storytelling that people in my university would talk about, and they would have all these different ideas about, you know, photographing in foreign communities and like getting to know the people and like all this kind of stuff. And it's like this funny like woke sort of nonsense that was preached in the university setting, and I think it's really detrimental, and it makes fraudulent artists. You know, just go over there, see what's up. You know, speak with people, sure. Get to know the culture, pray in their masjid. But guess what? Visual storytelling is bullshit. I think it's the funniest thing in the world when someone tells me that they're a visual storyteller. But that's just that's just my hot take on that. I really like this free-flowing practice of street photography because you just react to whatever's in front of you, and you know, it's just a much more freeing process. There's less fluff around it, you know, and the pictures will mean more in the future. You know, street photography is the supreme art form in terms of photography practice. It really is. It's like the purest form of making photographs, and so with that, it's supreme. I mean, we're making history with our art and showcasing what it really looked like during this time. And you know, if you have an abundance of courage, you know what's going to happen. You're going to want to go and traverse different lands and go live in a village for a year and go into those ancient locations and to war zones. You know, when I was in my early 20s growing up with my photography, guess what? That's what happened. It's a natural thing. When you have the lust for battle and you have the blood of Achilles rushing through you, you're going to want to go out and do these sorts of things and go on these adventures. And so if you're curious and you're courageous, then nothing will stop you. And that's kind of the goal and the gospel today. Increasing strength, increasing courage, and to continue having that sort of insane audacity and irrational motivation to make art each day. I'm in the biggest municipal building in the country.